All right, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And how we going to finish? We're going to finish strong. I really want to just share some thoughts I have about finishing strong. We just started into the fourth quarter of this year. And it's really been on my heart. And every call that I've had, every coaching call, every conversation in the boot camp and the breakfast club, we're just talking about this idea of the fourth quarter of the year, this last 3 months. And I normally don't make content that has timestamps to it, try to make it evergreen. But you know what? It's just heavy on my heart. I want to share what I'm thinking about to finish the year strong. And we genuinely have the opportunity to allow October, November, December of this year truly be your best months ever. And where some people get into the holiday slumps or man, my business typically falls off at the end of the year. I'll tell you, in 23 years of doing this, December has historically been one of my best months ever. And I just believe that you will find what you're looking for. We've talked a little bit about this, that don't let your past experience, don't let your past perceptions dictate your future results and your future performance. And here's what I believe. There's four things that if we know these four things, not only can we finish strong, we can finish with the best months we've ever had. I tell my kids all the time, whenever I'm like two of my boys, Ethan is 12, Lucas is 9, and Ellie's 7. The boys are playing football and Ellie's riding horseback. And I tell them all, hey, listen, guys, it's not about how you start, it's how you finish. You could have started slow, you could have started sluggish. You could have started with maybe not the right attitude. You could have started a little bit wobbly and inconsistent. But here's the good news, that we're making progress, not perfection. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Am I going to finish strong? So I wanted to share with you some things that I'm sharing with my team here at Success, my national team, and then also with the people that I'm coaching inside of the 8-week boot camp. And I think it'll be encouraging for you. But number one, to finish strong, you got to know your numbers. We do something called the Fast Action 90-day plan. And what it is, you got to know your numbers. You've got to know what is the right activity that I have to do today. How many qualified agent relationships do I need in order to achieve what I'm trying to achieve? And so, something that we talk about, the rule of two and the fast action 90-day plan is where you can go in and you just got to know, if I'm wanting to close 6 more additional transactions a month and I've made a commitment by December of 2024, I'm going to be, let's say you're closing 6 right now and your commitment is to be at 12. I'm going to get 6 more additional fundings a month. Then you're going to need 12 qualified agent relationships that are actively referring you 24 relational leads. So when I know that number, here's what I wake up every single day and say is, I need 12 qualified agent relationships to get 24 relational leads to put 6 funded loans in the pipeline by December 30th of this year, December of this year. And I am going to do whatever it takes. It's ethical, legal, or moral to make that happen. So every day, guess what? What I wake up and say, what am I doing today to get to that one more relationship? And when I get one relationship start to actively refer, I go from 12 down to 11. All I need are 11 more. I get another one. All I need are 10 more. 9, 8, 7, 6. See, we make it so complicated, like it's all these things we have to go do, whenever the one thing is what moves the needle the most and gets me the biggest results with the least amount of work. And it's qualified agent relationships that are actively referring you business. So if you know your numbers, you're going to finish strong. Number two, here's 2 questions I'd ask yourself. What do I need to do different to finish strong or to achieve the level of success I'm pushing to achieve by December? What would I need to do different? For some of you, I was talking to someone earlier this week, and Brittany, this is for you. We were talking, she's doing 60, 65 million. And the question was, what would it take to get to $100 million a year? And for her, it was all roads lead to me. So, and you know what? So then the only question you got to ask is, what do we need to do to get all roads off of you and empower your team members, and ask who can do this? So let's start with, what are the things that come to you? Well, I've got to get rid of all these emails. Okay. What are we going to do to make sure who can take care of answering the emails? I get all these texts. Great. Who's going to start answering the text on the team? And you start looking at, to have your best months ever, your best quarter of the year. What do I need to do different to make that happen? Some of you, you're literally processing your files. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and she's spending 20 hours a week processing files. And my question is, your goal is to double your production in 90 days, and you're committed to doing it. So, how do we empower your back end team? What would it take for your processor? What would happen if you literally said, hey, guess what? You know what? Uh, I'm empowering you. You take it contract to close and you stay out of the file. And if that's not the right person, then hire somebody who can take it contract to close. So, what would you need to do different to have your best months ever? And then you start executing on that. Here's the other thing in that question I think you got to ask: what do I need to stop doing? There are things that you're doing right now that are okay in their results, but they take a ton of time. Like I think about doing, realtor like BNI or all these, I'm going to the Houston Association of Realtor events and I'm going to all these networking events and the chamber events. And listen, those are good. But if you could do something that had greater impact but required less time, why not do that? So, what do you need to start doing in order to achieve the best fourth quarter you've ever had? What do you need to stop doing that's taking up time that you could put towards more proactive, results driven, high impact activities? Number three, you got to do the work every day. Here's what I'll tell you: doing the work 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then falling off doesn't work. It's the work every single day that you show up. What helps me is leaning into the community, a breakfast club. What helps me is leaning into the coaching of the 8-week boot camp. What helps me is going to call stars. Like when I lean into a community, they're counting on me to show up. I'm going to show up. How do we have our best time, our best quarter, best months of the year? Know your numbers. Ask, what do I need to do different? What do I need to stop doing? Do the work. And the last thing is this: as we run into the holidays, when you're off, be off. There's nothing worse than feeling the guilt and shame of like it's doing the holidays and we get into the week of Thanksgiving and it gets cooler and it's easy to fall off doing the right activity. What I want to challenge everybody right now is look at the next 3 months, decide when you're going to be off, and when you're off, take off. And when you're working, work. And don't let there be any excuses. If you take the week of Thanksgiving off, take it off, celebrate it. But if you're doing the work now and tomorrow and the next week and the next week, just because you take a week off, you don't lose momentum. So when you're in, be in. When you're out, be out. But show up, do the work, ask the questions. What do I need to do differently? What do I need to say no to? Make sure you know your numbers. And if you do that, you can absolutely finish strong and have your best months ever at the end of this year. And so, hey, I'm cheering you on. I'm rooting you on. If you need help, go to loanofficersuccess.com. It's got information about my 8-week boot camp. You fill out the form. Once you do, it'll take you to a spot where you can jump on a call with my calendar. Feel free. You can also go to meetupwithsteve.com, grab a time. But man, anything we can do to help you have great success. My boot camps, man, we're seeing just wild success. Hey, I'll tell you a quick story. I talked to Caden Coots, a good friend of mine who's been through the boot camp, and he is 5 months into the business, brand new, never been in the business. 5 months, got in May, closing 5 loans this month, and is building his pipeline for next month. And I'm just seeing massive success. If you want to learn more about it, go to loanofficersuccess.com. Loanofficersuccess.com. Would love to help you be a part of your story, your journey. You've got what it takes. You're a champion. And get out there, do the work, finish strong, and we'll see you on the inside. See ya.